Hey everyone, Krishna Perkins here. If you've been watching the national headlines lately, you've probably seen stories saying homes sales disappointed, buyers are still worried about affordability, and mortgage demand remains sluggish. On the surface, it might sound like the housing market has totally hit the brakes. But here's the thing, real estate is hyper local. What happens nationally doesn't always match up what we're seeing here in San Antonio locally. Every month, I dig into our local numbers because that's what matters if you're buying or selling in our market. So let's take a look at what actually happened in San Antonio this past month, what surprised me, and most importantly, what it means for you. Okay, today is July 9th, 2026, and this is market data through the month of June for San Antonio, our housing market data for San Antonio month of June. And as you can see, we have currently 5.84 months worth of inventory, definitely a balanced market. We're up 4.85% month over month inventory. So we've increased our inventory by nearly 5% month over month, about the same last month. Not the best news for sellers. If you're planning on selling your home and it's not on the market yet, you have more inventory there, but good news for buyers. A bit of good news for sellers. The ones that are getting to the closing table are getting about 97.6% of the list price if priced appropriately. And a bit of more good news for sellers. The typical home that is selling right now is getting sold and done with in about 42 days. That's actually down 10.64% month over month. So it's not a whole long waiting game if you're priced correctly and you're offering incentives and all that good stuff to help buyers get into the property and make this decision easier. The typical sold price right now in San Antonio is up to $313,000. That's about an 8% month over month increase. So a little bit more expensive homes sold in the month of June. New listings, newly listed homes in San Antonio. We had a decrease of newly listed homes. A little bit of good news for anyone planning on selling. A little bit less new competition coming into the market. 2.3% decrease month over month in competition for sellers. That's 2,900, call it 3,000 properties came on the market newly listed in June, and for a list price of about $320,000. The active listings, this is where all the pressure is coming from for sellers that are trying to get their home sold and for whatever reason it's not working out and they're stuck on the market. Active listings came in at 9,620. This is very similar to last year. If we go back and look at June of last year, again, 9,600 properties last year, about the same time, June timeframe. And so we've got just as much competition this year as you did last year in San Antonio for active listings. New pending listings. These are homes that just went under contract. We have a typical price of $295,000 for these homes that are under contract, and the number of properties at 1,521 properties. That's down 24.3%. This is where all that uncertainty we talked about comes in for the home buyers, and that's a big drop right there for new pending sales. That's not what you want to see in the middle of the summer. This has a lot to do with interest rates and that have been just kind of stagnant and not really doing anything to help the process. Also, list prices that are still high for the buyers that are holding out for lower list prices. This is a reflection of that pressure that buyers are feeling to stay on the sideline. So 24% decrease in new pending sales. Not good if you're selling a home. You don't want to see that because this is a leading indicator here for the market. So we'll see fewer sales next month in our final data. Pending home sales. This is a continuation of that data here. These are the leftovers that were pending the month before. Also down 6.2% month over month. You can see here we had we had over 2,200 pending sales the month before, and then fast forward to this past month, June, 1,521 sales. So big decrease there. Again, just highlighting that for you so you can see where the trend is. Okay, fewer pending sales month over month as we move further along with high interest rates. And then sold listings. These are the homes that sold in the month of June here in San Antonio. 1,716 properties sold. That's down 10.3% month over month. Not what you want to see in your busiest part of the year, where it historically is supposed to be busy. And that just it just underlines and emphasizes the need for sellers to do your homework before you put your house on the market. Make sure you're not just looking at the neighborhood listings. I'm telling you this in all the shorts that I'm posting on my channel, and giving you those easy tips to find ways to attract buyers. Use the builder playbooks to make your listings stand out. And finally, month supply. Again, we're at almost 6 months worth of supply here. We had a large bump there, 4.8% month over month change in supply. And for the 12-month change in supply, 6.6% change in monthly supply of homes for sale. So what's the bottom line? This isn't a frozen market, and it's certainly not the frenzy we experienced a few years ago. It's a balanced market where buyers have choices, sellers have competition, and strategy matters more than ever. If you're a seller, today's buyers are comparing every home, every incentive, and every monthly payment before making a decision. Pricing correctly and presenting your home well can make all the difference. If you're a buyer, this may be one of the better opportunities we've seen in a while. More inventory means more negotiating power, more options, and less pressure to make a rushed decision. If you'd like to know what these market conditions mean for your specific home, or you're wondering whether now is the right time to buy or sell, I'd be happy to help. Give me a call, send me a text, or leave a comment below. And if you found this update helpful, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's thinking about making a move in San Antonio. I'm Christian Perkins, and I'll see you next month with another San Antonio housing market update.